Hey there, Jay Adelson, CEO of Revision 3. I was hoping that I could just ask a small favor of you to go to revision3.com/survey and spend just a couple minutes of your time answering just a couple questions. It's completely optional and anonymous to help us get to know you, the fans, a little bit better so that we can improve our programming. Again, it'll be the least painful survey you've ever taken and it'll help us a great deal. Thanks for your support.
Hi, and welcome to Pixelperfect with me, Bert Monroy, the show where I show you all kinds of Photoshop tricks. I want to thank my sponsors, GoDaddy.com, the guys who will host your website, set up your domain name, and even design a site for you. And if you enter a code Pixel, like the one right there on your screen right now, when you check out of your .com domain name, you can have it for just $6.95 a year. It's an incredible deal. Some restrictions apply, all that stuff is on their website. So go to GoDaddy.com for all your internet needs. Today's show, I want to talk about something that a lot of people asked, especially Joel Heinbau and Peter Heinrichsen. They want to see Chrome. They want to see Chrome text in particular. Now, when you look around, you see a lot of signs with Chrome text, especially car ads and games. They all have this nice, shiny Chrome text. Well, that's what I'm going to do for you today. Right here on the screen, I have this nice big blank screen. And yes, I'm back in CS2. I'm going to play around with it here. A lot of you maybe didn't upgrade yet, so I want to show you these things so that you'll understand it right off the bat and you'll see the kind of screens that you're used to seeing. And in the near future, well, I'm going to completely switch to CS3, so I think you should go out there and do that upgrade soon. All right, so right here on this screen, I'm going to type in some text. I'm going to put my cursor right here in the center, and I'm going to type in Pixelperfect. I don't know why I came up with that, but that sounds like a good thing to use for a sign. Right there, I'm going to center it right in the middle there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and rasterize that because I know it looks good. I know I spelt it right, so I'm going to say rasterize the type, so it turned it into actual pixels. Now, in a layer on top of this, right above it, I'm going to create a big rectangle that's just going to encompass my words, just like so. Let's center it right about like that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stroke this. I'm going to stroke this, and I'm going to give it a 30. Let's try a 30, because a width of 30 pixels should be just about the width of the letters on the screen. I'm going to say on the outside, go ahead and do it, and it gave me this nice big fat stroke. That looks good. I'll deselect it, and I'm going to merge this down. I'm going to say merge down. So the two of them become a single layer. Now, holding down my Command key, Control on the PC, I'm going to click on the preview icon to turn it into a selection. We see the selection. I'm going to say Save Selection. Saving the selection turns it into an alpha channel. I'm going to deselect it, and let's go see the alpha channel. Right here in the Channels palette, there we see the layer, or rather the channel. Now I have two because I was practicing before, so I'm going to throw the other one away, and alpha 2. So there we see Pixelperfect. I'm going to give it a little blur, just to soften up those edges a little bit. So I'm going to give it a Gaussian blur. Go in here and give it a Gaussian blur of about 5. That sounds good, just to soften up the little edges along the sides. Click OK. Go back to my RGB, and in my layers, I'm going to create a layer above the little logo, and I'm going to go ahead and fill that with a 50% gray. That's a nice neutral density. Click OK. There's my 50% gray. To this layer of 50% gray, I'm going to give it another filter, Render Lighting Effects. Now, lighting effects, I have the ability to create these nice little spotlights, right? So I'm going to go in here, and let's bring this light source a little further in. And I got this nice effect happening right in there. And right now, it's just creating a spotlight on the gray. But way down here at the bottom of this window, I have a little thing that says Texture Channel. I can use a channel as a mask for this effect. So I'm going to choose that alpha 2. That's the channel that I created a second ago. I'm going to use that. And right here in the preview, we see that we now see the shadows and highlights of the Pixelperfect with the square around it being lit up by the little spotlight. So I click OK, and there's the effect. Now, right now it looks like a little vacuum formed plastic, right? We want to make it look like chrome. So I'm going to go into one of my adjustments. I'm going to go into curves. Now, last show when I introduced CS3, I showed you how this window had changed. It had a histogram. Well, there's the window that you should have in your machines today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition colors. I'm going to push this guy way up there like that, which created this whole effect. Now I'm going to create by just clicking on the little line here, I'm going to pull out another little handle, bring it down, and another one going up, and another one going down. I'm basically creating this little roller coaster kind of an effect that we see right there on the screen. See, I'm going to accent these a little more, and we can see what's starting to happen. It's starting to look like chrome back there. It's giving it that shininess. So I got all the effects that I want, just like that. That looks good. I click OK. There's my effect. So now, I'm going to go ahead and clip this with the actual logo. So I'm going to hold down my my Option key, which is Alt on a PC, because right now you see the little hand going up and down the little palette here. Let's bring it in, see? But when I hold down that modifier key, that Option key, it's going to change that behavior. So now you see when it goes between two layers, it has that little cursor change. I described this in an earlier episode, and what's happening here is I'm creating a clipping group. So I'm going to click between those, and now you can see that the chrome is visible inside the letters. I'm going to go into the layer styles for the letters themselves and give them a little stroke themselves. Right there, little stroke on the outside, but not red. I'm going to give it a nice black. And not 3, let's go down to about 1. So it's just a little tiny hint of a line, just to separate that from the background, right there. And a little more, I'm going to give it a little drop shadow, just a tiny little drop shadow, which I'll increase the distance ever so slightly, and click OK. So now we have this nice effect happening there. Now in my background, I'm going to go to my background here, and I got black. I'm going to choose a nice blue for my background color. And in the background, I'm going to throw a little gradient, little radial gradient straight up and down from black to blue, like that. So we have some little color in the back. Now we're starting to really see this chrome effect. So now on a layer on top of all these, I'm going to go in there and add a little sparkle. So I'm going to return my colors to black and white, make white the foreground, and I'm going to get my paintbrush. And let's get a small brush. Let's say a 13, that's a good size, maybe a little bigger. Let's go with the 17, which gives us that little effect like that. In my brush engine, right up here, I'll pull it out. I'm going to turn off my shape dynamics, but I'm going to go down to other dynamics and say, give it a fade. Let it fade out. Right now I got 250, that might be a little too much. Oh yeah, that's much too much. So let's bring that down to say 25. Let's see what that's going to be like. That's pretty good. Maybe we'll make it 35. 35. All right, let's put that back in the well. And I'm going to click right here in the little corner of the L. I'm going to click right there, come up in this direction right here, hold down my Shift key to constrain it from click to click, and click. I get this nice little streak that ran out of pixels or ran out of brush tips at 35 steps. I'm going to go back to the original point, click again, come in the opposite direction, hold down the Shift key, and click. There I get a little line going that way. Go back into my little brush palette and say, let's make it 18 now. 18. Click in the same spot again, right there. Come at an angle perpendicular to the other two strokes, hold down the Shift key, and click. Click in the original spot, go straight above on the opposite side, Shift, click. And there's this nice little tiny sparkle right on the end of my text. I can duplicate that, and let's move this one over to, say, right here at the top of the P, and we have these nice little sparkles. Now, if you want to add a little reflection to this, we could. Let's just say I go ahead and open up another image here, and I have an image, let's just say right down here. I got a little image from San Francisco, little painted ladies. And let's just drag this right into our scene. Here it is. Now I'm going to scale this so that it encompasses the entire scene. So let's go in here and do a little scale. Hold down my Shift key to constrain it. And there we go. So we have this nice big scene here. And I'm going to clip that with the letters too. So I'm going to come down here and clip it right in there. Now it's kind of obliterated our text, so we can kind of bring down the opacity for that layer. Just bring it down so it's just a little hint of a little reflection. And let's just move it up so we get the reflection inside the other. And there we see that we have this nice little chrome text with little sparkles and a little reflection from some scene outside of the logo. I hope you learned something there. Remember, it's all the little steps in between. Now, little tweaks here and there will give you totally different effects. It's up to you to find these by sitting there and playing. That's the best way to learn is to sit there and play. Don't think of it as work, think of it as playing. Hope you learned something today. See you in the next show.